Good evening, Victor.
Hi, good to meet you.
And you as well. Tell us where you're from, Victor.
Well, I'm from Ukraine, grew up in Ukraine, I love Ukraine.
Very good, lovely stuff. And to start off with just a couple of slightly daft questions. Tomato ketchup, do you keep it in the fridge or do you keep it in the cabinet?
This is a silly question. First of all, you say tomato, not tomato. Second of all, of course, fridge.
In the fridge?
I mean, where else?
I'm saying nothing
Okay,
at all. Okay. Marmite, do you love it or do you hate it?
I just tried it yesterday.
Yesterday, for the first time?
For the first time in my life. And, they talked about it, I tried it, I almost cried. Hate it with a passion.
That is the correct answer in my book anyway. Fabulous. Now, Victor, you're from the Ukraine and you're in Keswick today.
Yeah.
Why is that? What are you here for this week?
Well, we're meeting a lot of people who support our ministry in Ukraine. What we have several radio stations in the country. We have 7 at this time. And we are opening a new station in Kyiv, which is the capital of Ukraine, in the midst of the war, in the midst of what's going on. You know what's going on. I don't have to tell you the story. A lot of suffering, a lot of bloodshed, a lot of kids are in one city, the parents are in a different city, a lot of people are fighting in the army. All of that is happening, and what we do radio broadcasts and we do social media broadcasts. Social media, we have all kinds of networks in Ukraine, something like Facebook, but many different ones. Mm-hmm. And on those different social networks, they have social groups for people who are interested in this and that, very different from what you have here in the UK.
So a wide variety of different things then. So you've got radio, you've got social media,
yeah.
And what kind of things are you putting out on the radio and on those social media platforms?
Well, we talk about everything. So we start conversation with anything that people want to talk about. You want to talk about war? Let's talk about war. Mm-hmm. You want to talk about education? Let's talk about education. Relationships, number one issue. That's what people are calling in. And we are very interactive. We are Christian radio for non-Christians. So we start from where people are. And then we draw them to Christ. And so many of them are coming to Christ, becoming believers. And it is amazing to see how they listen, how they sometimes argue with us, especially teenagers. They love to argue. They use bad language, and we are okay with it, because those are non-Christians. And then they listen for a couple of months, and they become our friends, and then they become the friends of Jesus.
It sounds amazing. And how has the war affected your ministry?
Well, one of our stations was destroyed by the war. The other one was captured by the Russian forces, so they are broadcasting something else. We opened one new station. We are opening the biggest station in Kyiv now. So all of it is kind of positive as far as growth, as far as listeners, people who are calling, and we have about 35 to 50 counselors, people who are answering the phone calls. Those calls are very, very difficult. Very difficult. If you can imagine people going through the war, a guy texting us on his phone, listening to us in the trenches as the explosions are going on around him. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about, I don't know who Christ is, but I feel that love and life is coming into my heart. And then we lose him for a while, and then, no, I'm still alive, I'm still listening, this is amazing. And we get so many calls like that. 10% of the calls that we get are from children who are afraid, don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, children who lost their parents, this kind of stuff.
Yeah, okay. That sounds amazing. So even in the midst of all that darkness, there is light. Now, one last question for you, Victor. If you could tell your 14-year-old self anything, what would you tell them?
I would tell a lot of things, but I have to say one thing, right? Mm-hmm. I would say, don't be afraid to be different. Who cares what your friends think about you? Think about what one man thinks about you, and that's your best friend for life, Jesus. So don't be afraid of anybody. Be friends with Jesus.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Victor. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.